because then whatever that was done in the dark comes to the light, and sometimes you don't necessarily want to know what was done.
Dominique Hackey, the father of one of the Henrico doctor's NICU babies found to have broken bones in 2023, concerned that it has taken so long for justice.
I remember her being in the room. She was friendly, she answered questions, but she didn't stay and talk like the other NICU nurses did. She wasn't family like the other NICU nurses were.
He's describing 26-year-old Erin Strotman, the nurse now in jail, charged with felony child neglect and felony malicious wounding, related to a different baby in 2024. Strotman was put on paid administrative leave by the hospital for a year after the 2023 cases of NICU abuse came to light, and then was allowed to return in late 2024. Hackey saying the hospital should be held accountable as well.
Because that shouldn't.
And welcome to my channel. If you are viewing my channel for the first time, I just would like to say I appreciate you for taking out the time to watch any of my videos. Those of you who have subscribed, I appreciate it. So today I have a pleasure in doing an interview. My husband is interviewing me today. And today we're going to get into my experience with having a home birth versus having birth in the hospital. So, by further ado, I'd like to introduce my husband, Cortez.
What's up? What's up? Let's get into some questions. We're going to get into 5 questions, all right? And if you want to further elaborate after these questions, you can. But let's get into the first question. What led you to make the decision to give birth to your child at home or not inside of a hospital? You know, what made you, considering so many women, they choose to go to the hospital. We've been taught, when you're about to give birth, you got to call the ambulance, they come get you. That's like a scary story for a woman to have her child at home or, on the way to the hospital. So what what led you to want to have a child at home?
Actually, I had the pleasure in witnessing actually home birth myself. And I saw the support that was around. And I actually decided that maybe I can also give a home birth. It's not that chaotic as it would be in the hospital. You got to think there's a lot of things that go on in the hospitals. You got nurses coming in and out. You have doctors coming in and out. You have a variety of things that's going on all at once. Plus, you are in labor, so there's too much going on at once. And there's a lot of different things that can happen in the hospital. So I think that's for sure what led me to actually wanting to actually give up.
All right. Question number 2. What was your experience or your personal experience having children in the hospital?
My first child, just the whole pregnancy, going to like different doctor's visits. They had me literally going to the hospital almost every other week. And they were saying that he was too small, so they wanted to keep track of his growth. And then it ultimately turned into me actually getting my labor induced. So the whole logic was he's too small, so we're going to have to deliver him early. So with that whole experience, I was pretty much like, I won't say scared, but I was a little bit worried. But the whole experience actually going into labor, they inducing my labor, it was pretty much, it was too much for me because you got to think they was inducing my labor, so I had to force my labor, actually. I didn't have the experience of actually going into labor. I had it forced on me. So I didn't like that. Also, just everybody, the doctors coming in, nurses coming in, you have student nurses coming in, checking you out, looking at you. I didn't like that either. Another experience, after having him, they were saying that, he didn't pass the hearing test, so they took him out the room, which I didn't agree to that. I didn't like how they took him out the room, and I didn't have no supervision of what was going on, so I didn't like that part. And also just having like different things happening with circumcision. I didn't have no say-so in that, but that's those are all the complications or the things I would say that I disagreed with while having the
Cool. So
baby
that
in the
was,
hospital.
sound like there was a lot of pressure in the hospital. So let me get into my next question, the third question. Um, what was the difference in having a child home birth versus actually having children in the hospital?
The difference is you are in a more comfortable environment. You are around people that genuinely care for you and actually love you. The whole difference, they're gonna make sure you straight and you comfortable. They're not looking at it as a job. So that's number one. And number two is just you actually having that experience with going into labor. Like I mentioned, with my first child, I didn't get to experience labor naturally. So having that experience, going through all that, is a much smoother process, I would say.
Where your C-section scar at?
I don't have any C-sections. I had 3 natural births. So I would say I'm blessed to still have that opportunity to give birth.
Okay. All right. So question number 4: have you ever experienced any complications with giving birth to your children in a hospital or a home birth? Have you ever experienced any complications? Maybe at that time or even after. It can be your body, mentally, whatever.
I would say when I had my first child, of course, by them inducing my labor, I had to get, well, I didn't have to, but they gave me the option to have an epidural. If anybody is familiar with getting your labor induced or dealing with Pitocin, which is that speeds up your contractions. But yeah, at that point, I was to the point where I wanted the epidural, but I really didn't want it. But I needed it at that moment. I was in a lot of pain. But after the fact, I started experience different. It's like a sensation a painful sensation that goes up your spine. So I started experiencing those kind of complications, and I just always experience. It comes every now and then. I still experience them to this day, but I didn't experience no complications while having my son, at home. So yeah, no complications, none of that. Everything went smooth. My labor went smooth. Healing process went smooth. Of course, you're gonna experience pain after having a whole child, but it wasn't as crazy as my first home or my first hospital birth.
So you would say the home birth was a lot easier, or
Yeah.
overall?
Yeah, I would say the home birth was much easier, much comfortable. Yeah, I would say that's the best decision I made, to actually have a home birth.
Okay, so let me ask you question number 5. Do you recommend women, let's say a woman just like you, right? She's on her first child, or woman, whatever child. Do you recommend women should have their child at home? And if so, what advice do you have to them that want to do a home birth for the first time?
Well, I would say women that, if you generally want to do a home birth, I would say try it. Make sure you have a supportive team, because that's very important. If you don't have a supportive team, of course your home birth not going to go as you wanted it to go.
Shout out to the sisters that helped you, right?
Yeah, shout out to my sisters that helped me, and they did a good job. They made sure I was taken care of. I love them for that. Always will remember that. So shout out to them. And also just make sure you have everything you need with the home birth. Make sure you educate yourself on anything that could go wrong. All those things. You have to be educated in that. I'm not saying just go out, just have your baby at home. No, you have to do your research on a home birth. Make sure you are prepared to have a child at home. But I think every woman should experience, at least have the experience of having your child at home. You will see the total difference between a hospital and having it at home. Yeah, I would just say do your research on home birth, do the statistics, learn about having your child naturally. Stop taking all of these advices from a lot of these so-called licensed doctors or nurses and do your own research, because don't nobody know your body like you do. So just trust God and trust that He will make your transition, your home birth, as smooth as possible.
All right, y'all. Now that we completed the 5 questions, we're going to get into some bonus. If y'all got any questions and comments, let us know. Hit the comment, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're going to drop some more videos. But yeah, you did pretty good. You did pretty good. And I would say from watching you, of course, I'm the father of the children. I would hope so, but I'm just joking. But yeah, so out of, so out of all these children, I can say, having Karam which is our first child, was pretty stressful. It was pretty stressful. It was kind of blurry for a minute, but yeah, it was pretty stressful because it was a lot of pressure. A lot of, when she tell you like, don't just listen to the, medical advice. And, the reason she say that is because our people, we suffer from, number one, the trust. Number two, the fear. These doctors have the power of putting a lot of fear on our people to making irrational decisions, and what's rampant in our neighborhood. You have a lot of autism, you have a lot of these different things that's going on with our children, mental issues and stuff like that. A lot of that come from when them children was born, they got that shot and they wasn't the same from then. So we have to get back to trusting in, our God, and that when a baby is born, it's natural. You don't need to shoot up these children with all these shots and things like that. So yeah, watching Karan be born, of course we denied all the, vaccines. But do you want to be in a hospital? Oh, you want to get the K shot? You would do this, you would do that. And even if you say, no, I don't want to do it, they're still going to put the pressure on you. Like, oh, are you familiar with this? You still got to, you basically signing up to agree that, you're negligent with it. Say hey, say hey. Say hey, Zamir. How old are you? How old are you? As you can see, he's very shy. He's very shy. Do you actually be noticing like differences in like the growth for your children? Let's say and this is just bonus right here. What I can say I notice about Zamir, he's very attentive. Which they all was very smart. They're very smart children. But as far as the home birth, is it something that you notice different about him with having him at home?
Yeah, I would say he's strong, healthy. He hit a lot of his milestones, as they get, each month they grow. He hit a lot of milestones. He was eating and stuff at an early age. He took his time a little bit with walking, but ever since then, he been going and talking his little way, talking his butt off. I was surprised to actually wean him off on breast milk because I was trying to wait till he's 2 years old. But this boy is 1 and some quarters. But he's weaned off the milk, no more breast milk, so he is fully eating table food and more. He eating my food and his food, so yeah.
Like, and going back to the pressure, like, it's like as soon as the baby come out, they give you your little time, and they like, okay, wrap it up. Now let the father get a little time. Okay, now wrap it up. Now they putting them on the table with the light on them. And, then you got the other doctor coming in, and you got all these doctors coming in for different reasons. It's like,
Yeah, they crying. I remember when we had Karan. And he was crying once they took him off of me, and he was like, he want his mother. Like, you kept telling him, like, bring him back, because he want his mother. Because as soon as they brought him back to me, he stopped crying, and he was just ready to eat.
Do it seem like it was like a pressure to separate him from you? It's like all the procedures had to be outside the room, and we had to keep telling them, like, no, we want him to be inside the room.
Yeah, I think I did have that checklist, birthing plan checklist, and that was one of the things I said. I didn't want them to take him out the room, but they kept trying to play on my ignorance, saying like, oh, he didn't pass his sugar test, so they had to keep taking his blood sugar on his foot, and they also was saying he didn't pass the hearing test, but I was just like, yeah, like they trying something because they knew we wasn't getting the vaccines. So they had to try to keep pressuring us or kept trying to mess with us when it came to him.
Okay. Look at little man. Hey, Zamir, say what's up. Say hey. Say hello. You know, what I do remember, I remember you was like on your hands and your knees, right?
Yeah.
And you know, one thing that, you know, they tell you in the hospital, they kind of have you laying on your back and you kind of got your legs pushed back.
That's the most. That's that's not the proper way to have a child. If you don't know, Google it, and it will tell you you're not supposed to give birth like that. It actually makes your labor longer, and it makes it harder for you to actually push the baby out.
Yeah, I seen you kind of struggling on your this last time with him having him at home. You was on your hands and your knees, and you struggling. And I remember telling you, I say, scoot back, you know, squat. Soon as you squatted, he came right out easily.
Yeah. It's like your body have to. You gotta let gravity take its course. So you have to allow your body. You're supposed to be upright.
So basically, you saying trust the science.
No, what I'm saying is trust your body. You just think about it. When you go on to take a poop, you ain't laying down on your back, are you? You laying up. You upright. So when you gotta push, you supposed to be upright, I would say.
Yeah, and also, it's not that we just talking, you know, we have to look at the history. These people, you have to look at the history of giving birth and the science experiments on black women and black people in general. These people, you know, they didn't have our best interests historically in these hospitals. So you can see people, you know, they might be good in heart. They might have your, you know, your best interest as far as the person, the doctor is concerned, but they're still a part of an organization or a systematic thing that's meant to, you know, keep population down, or, you know, even not even that deep. They can be trying to put these C-sections on a lot of women based on, you know, the money that they can get out of the hospital. What do you think about that? What do you think about all these women getting all these C-sections? Do you think a C-section is necessary in all these cases?
In a lot of cases, I don't think it's necessary, honestly. Especially like if it's your child at a normal birth rate, you can push your child out vaginally. I think a lot of them, and there's people that's speaking out about it too, that's saying like basically they're getting money with getting C-sections. So a lot of course, they're gonna push C-section on you when generally you didn't need one. And it also, they say statistically, you are limited with having many children if you have a C-section. So if you at least have maybe 2 or 3, that's probably your max you're gonna have without actually going through a traumatic experience. So maybe, you know, that's hypothetically speaking.
And you know what else is what's crazy? You can't even take control of what comes out your body. You can't even grab your placenta and, hey, okay, I'm good. Y'all did a good job. Let me take my body now, the piece of my body, and leave. No, what you doing with that placenta? You know, go ahead.
You got to think with that too. Like even they understand the benefits your placenta has. That's why they're so quick to cut that umbilical cord when the baby come out, because they know when it's still pulsing, that's all the nutrients you give into your baby. They supposed to have that. So when I had that experience to leave him on, I was so happy, and it was just like, it was a good joy to experience that because it was so much better. And I think women should actually save their placenta. I wanted to save it, but honestly, I didn't know enough research or enough information on how to care for the placenta after having it.
So when you say leave them on the placenta, what do you mean by that? Leave them on the placenta.
You have
Zamir.
So when you have your child, you have to. They say like that's still the blood, the rest of the blood, nutrients, everything that the child needs. It goes to the baby. So if you cut that off too early, especially if the umbilical cord is still pulsing, like it's still pumping out blood. You gotta think about it. It's not your baby not in the womb now, so it's still trying to, you know, get grasp of being on Earth now, outside your
Yeah,
womb.
being outside of it.
So your baby need every nutrients, every little bit of what that umbilical cord is giving the baby.
Okay, and let's be clear, you didn't eat the placenta, right?
No, no.
Okay.
I didn't eat the placenta, but there are women that dry it up and they will make capsules of it.
Like medicine?
Yeah, like medicine, and they said it's good. It's good for the woman. It's good for when she want to breastfeed, like especially if a woman has low milk supply. It helps with your milk supply. It helps with your growth, getting your hair back, because some women go through postpartum hair loss. It helps with all of that. So there's healthy benefits with keeping your placenta. And if you want to dry it out and make capsules of it, some people put it in a smoothie, things like that, you can do it. So there's benefits. Don't let the doctors tell you, oh, it's nothing anyways, it's just a blood clot. Don't let them tell you that. Do your research on it.
Okay. Another thing, so you had 3 children. Of course, you had 2 in the hospital. Not only did you have 1 at home, you had 1 in Africa.
Yeah. Yeah, Africa, baby.
Okay, so I want to say this. So you know, you're pregnant right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you did document your first home birth, of course. That was Sims Amir right here. So will you be documenting this pregnancy?
Yes, I will. I will keep everybody updated on my journey with this whole process. And yeah, we praying for a same thing, safe, peaceful, good home birth.
Okay, good. So anything else you want to say in closing out? Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, so I would just say, y'all, just do your research. If y'all thinking about home birth, do your research. Do anything you need, get it. Do research on what you need, what you don't need. Get a contact with somebody that's like a doula or a midwife, because that's not, that ain't something that I'm just saying, like, don't have nobody. But yeah, at least have that some kind of support when it comes to having a home birth. But yeah, y'all like, share, subscribe, and we out.
All right. Say bye, Zamir. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Say bye.
I just wanna say I'm proud of me. I came a long way, finally found my feet. It's been a crazy journey, but I'm grateful. I'm loving who I am, become